And we are back, man. So, like I mentioned earlier, Thursday night, if y'all were tuned into the game, witnessed another scare. And ironically enough, it happened between the two players who's given the NFL the biggest scares the last couple years.
Oh,
It's Tua. I wasn't even trying to make a joke about that. I'm serious. It's
I'm
ironic
sorry.
that it was them two colliding. But yeah, man, Tua making a football play. I mean, you got to respect it because he's trying to fight for his team. Obviously, this was a big game. Buffalo has had their number for a while now, and this year it's supposed to be the year. Like they got to get it this year. They got to win the AFC East. And Tua did not look good from the start, so he started forcing. There's a fourth down, down in Buffalo's territory in the red zone, 4th and 4. Tua scrambles up the middle, picked up the first down. I guess he didn't realize he had the first down because he could have slid. You know, lived to see another day. Got a
Oh wow.
first set of downs, 1st and goal. Instead, he tried to truck Damar Hamlin, put his head down. And as soon as he struck Damar Hamlin got up, and you seen Tua kind of hit that what they call the fencing pose, where his arm kind of
Hmm.
fist locked up, and it was like, damn, this is what we were afraid of. This why he didn't get the contract last year. Last year he was okay. He did the little jujitsu classes. He added on some extra weight to try to protect himself. He would kind of do the self sack thing when pressure did start caving in. But all that went out the window in that moment, and he paid for it. And this is now his fourth concussion in the last 2.5 years. Last year, like I said, he stayed healthy, but 2022, he had the three concussions where two of them went unnoticed. The first one being, ironically enough, versus Buffalo. His head had snapped back, hit the ground, but they didn't see it. He was out. Then he came back, and then he got knocked out versus Cincinnati, and that's where he did lock up and do the fencing pose. And then Green Bay, he got concussed, went back into the game. And then that week, they came out and was like, well, he actually has a concussion. And the NFL was about to face a lawsuit. And so now, what do you do, man? This is fourth one, and it's like it sucks for Tua because, like, of course it's football. Everybody concussions are gonna happen. Like you can't eliminate them from the game. Like just by nature of the sport, they're gonna happen. But it's unfortunate for Tua because he seems to have his body has the unique ability. Or I don't even want to call it an ability, but his body uniquely responds different to these concussions. Where it's like, some concussions, a dude might get up woozy. He might just, be looking like, oh, I can't see lights or whatever. But Tua, like, hits this fencing pose, and like that's a direct correlation to brain trauma and brain damage. And it's like, bro, you got your whole life ahead of you. He just had a kid in the off season, just got paid 93 mil guaranteed this season alone. Should he just sit out and just retire? Because I mean, like, this is like you can't not get hit in the NFL. Like, it was bound to happen that he was going to get hit in his head at some point throughout his career again. Who's to say this doesn't happen for a third time? And what if the third time is the time that's, knock on wood, God forbid it happens, but the worst possible outcome where he don't, come back. So what are y'all thinking? Should Tua retire, or because it sounded like he's not going to? And I get it, the
Hmm.
love of the game. Football is big in his family, but what are y'all thinking from just a human perspective, NFL safety perspective? What do y'all think Tua should do?
Um, Me personally, uh, it's so. I know y'all heard Stephen A. and old girl argue whatever on first take. I think they both have a legitimate point. To his brain look like a sloppy Joe sandwich. He need to go raise them babies.
Oh my god.
Okay. They have a good point, bro. It's like as a man who has a family and you want to provide for them, you feel like you have to go out and you have to do these things. But in my head, we always make the joke, I win this so much money, I'm good. I don't need nothing else. I think Tua is past that point. I think he's good. I don't think he needs anything else. I think to a lot of like women's points and other people's points, what he needs to do is go raise his kids, is to be able to be there for his kids. So he won't Chris Benoit them. We don't want to see that with Tua. And he's very much on his way. to being really messed up. Um, it's just sad because in my head, like the obvious choice is retire, and I feel like that has to be most people in his corner telling him to retire, to stop. Like, how old is Tua? He ain't even 30 yet.
Two
Probably
is
like,
our age, I want to
yeah,
say.
like
I'm
25,
almost positive.
26.
See,
25.
and people have been bringing up what's his name a lot recently too because of this stuff. Is it Herschel Walker? Is that who it
Uh,
is?
I don't know. I know I've heard people relay this back to like Andrew Luck because Andrew Luck stepped away from the concussions and stuff. But the
Yeah,
thing
but
is,
I'm pretty sure Herschel Walker he died young, didn't he?
oh, was it from like CTE complications or something?
No, it wasn't Herschel Walker. It was somebody else that
Man,
died at
Hershey,
like
it's not.
Herschel
it was
Walker's
some
still alive.
it was
Yeah,
somebody that died at like 46 who was like a renowned running back in like the 80s or 70s or something like that. And they've been bringing that guy up a lot because I wanted to say they think that his early death is related to the CT. Not to mention these guys with these brain trauma issues, bro, they become suicidal at the end of it all.
that's a good point because like we just talking about right now.
Yeah.
He's already had the brain trauma clearly from these concussions. No telling how that's gonna deteriorate over time. Because like we just now find about CTE from like older players. And, they played many years ago. The signs might not start showing themselves till later on in life, and he can only make it worse from here on out. But it's like, of course, I think like you said, his people in his corner probably tell him. Honestly, I think some of the people in his corner not telling him. Like, if you've ever, I don't
Wow.
know if you've ever heard or like seen to a story they did a couple like ESPN insider things back when he was in Alabama, but they don't play about football in that family. Like they literally moved from Hawaii to Alabama for football purposes. Tua used to get whooped by his dad when he throw interceptions or mess up in the game. Like they live, breathe, eat football 24/7. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why he's gonna try to come back. Not only because his family, but just because that's so ingrained into his mind. He think he gotta do it. Like you said, dog, he got all the money in the world. Like 93 million. You set, your kids set, your kids set. So like you might really need to, step away, but like I'm sure he's gonna come back, but it's probably gonna be mandatory he wear the guardian cap. But just think, like if he get a concussion with the guardian cap on, then what we talking about?
Bro, it's just in my head as the Dolphins organization, there's no way you feel morally correct bringing this man back to play football for you.
That's true. They need to be because it is up to them ultimately. They need to.
Like,
They
there's
need.
no way. Like, I would not feel comfortable putting somebody knowing that they've been through it multiple times under my watch and putting them in the situation again. Because if it happens again, somebody going to jail.
Yeah, no. Facts.
Somebody got to go to jail. Something got to happen.
Maybe so, but I feel like it's. I mean, it's his decision. It's his choice. Whatever.
It's his decision.
So it's. I mean, it's up to what Tua wants to do. We can't tell him like
No, we
he
can't.
needs to retire. If Tua wants to go. Tua's going to play
See,
football.
I want to know what Tua four concussions ago decision would he make?
Yeah.
Not
'Cause
to mention
I-
he got a concussion also in college as well.
in college, and these are just the known ones. These are just the ones that we know about. Ain't no telling what he been through before he got on the
Little League,
national
I'm
eye.
telling you, bro, especially
Cracking.
for
Pow.
people our age. I probably had a couple concussions throughout Little League. And coaches be hype after you hit somebody, they just come
Like,
and smack you.
oh! Yeah, make it worse.
Make it worse.
Make it
Good job, son.
Brain just rattling. So there's no telling, but like I said, his body just responds like in the worst possible way. And so like we definitely cannot tell him what to do, and it's his decision 100%. It's just like, bruh, this scary because if it happens again, like I said, who knows what's gonna happen? Because like we can't. Only the brain doctors, brain surgeon, whatever you want to call, only they can do the scans and try to tell what can happen.
And this still all fairly new to them.
Exactly.
Like when you look at it, like the medical field, whatever. Like there's a lot of years that go into a lot of things, and that CT brain trauma is not something that's been studied for a long time. And a long time, y'all, is like a century. I guess technically, because stuff. But like this, what CT just got discovered like in like the 70s, 80s, and it was really like people were really skeptical. Like, yeah, it ain't real.
We
It's
really
not
ain't even
true.
dive into it though. Besides, like 10 years ago, for real, for real.
Yep.
Like, and that's
And
when
they
it started coming known that these cases, because some of these players were suicidal or were getting brain scans like, oh, your brain has CTE. It's like,
nobody
yeah,
has
we
CT.
we upgraded, the
Oh,
equipment, the pads, the type of helmets. Oh no, Eric.
that's crazy.
Oh, we're gonna touch on that, Eric. Stay around. He said the refs are belling out.
Yeah.
There you go. I forgot.
Oh, that's live.
Yeah, refs belling out the Chiefs again. Ha! Hey, we'll take it.
We'll talk about. We'll talk about.
Hey, we'll talk about it. We'll talk
Look,
about it.
I didn't
Though.
even get to see the end of that.
Oh man.
I saw it, but look,
Cam.
the last thing I'm gonna say about Tua, and I want to know how y'all feel about it. Yeah, for sure. Is that they say that a lot of these concussions are his fault because he don't know how to fall.
Well,
Yeah,
he
Which,
learned
when you
how
look
to
at the
fall.
videos,
that's what he was learning how to go do.
He
was
did it
learning how to.
last year. This specific play was literally because for whatever reason, like I don't like Tua did it's some type of jujitsu training where he learned how to fall, learned
learn
how
how
to
to
protect
fall is
himself.
crazy, bro.
That's what
How do you not know how to do
they
that?
literally told him to self-sack himself. Like when the pocket breaks down and it's like too quick and there's nothing, just sack yourself, just lay on the ground. But like I said, it was because he started the game off so bad, and the whole media was saying all week, the Dolphins gotta win this game because the Bills have basically been their daddy for a couple years now. And they're in a rebuild. So it's like, oh, you got all this talent, you better win the division this year. Tua was, seen in the pregame press conferences leading up, like, oh yeah, like they got every right to brag, and they got bragging rights over us, but we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta win this game. Then start off the game, 2 interceptions, down double digits early. He just started forcing.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Tua doesn't even run like that, but literally on the 4th and 4, he dropped back 2 steps. He didn't even reach his drop back 2 steps and just took off. And then, like I said, he had the first down. All he had to do was get down. But it's like he tried to truck DeMar Hamlin head first.
Yeah.
Knowing what you know in your past, like, come on, bro.
Yeah. You should
Like
be the main
I
one
respect the
sliding.
heart because I know you were trying to win, but bro, you got to be smarter than that. And like you said, it's really on the Dolphins more because Tua can say like he wants to play, but the Dolphins really need to do their due diligence and like decide whether or not they want to, put him on the field because it could be life or death at this point.
Because like respectfully, all respect to the Dolphins, bro, but y'all not finna do nothing this year.
Well, that's why we said don't pay him in the first place. I was do not pay him. Don't pay him. Don't pay Dak. Don't pay Trevor. But all these quarterbacks got paid, and look at them all right now. Look at these teams. Owners might have made a mistake that puts them, in poverty for 5 years now because they handicapped by these contracts. But I don't know how we would find out, or we just have to wait. But I know there's got to be some type of clause written in the fine print of his contract directly related to his concussion because there's no way they gave him this much money.
Oh yeah, there is
without a concussion clause.
There is. I forgot what it is, but it definitely is like the injury clause in there for him.
So they financially speaking, they gotta because they do owe him $93 million straight up. I know that as by the end of this year. So they probably thinking on their end financially speaking, like $93 million. Do we let him play? I don't know. But yeah, prayers out to Tua. I hope he's okay for real. Hope it doesn't, become a problem later down the line. Me personally, I think he should think about retirement or at least maybe sit out a season, do a lot of testing, just figure it all out. But he's probably gonna play, so just fingers crossed that he's able to do the self-sack, fall the right way, whatever, whoop-de-whoop, everything to protect him. Come back with the Guardian cap, please. Like, let's at least try them. I thought once they said some players can play with the Guardian cap, I thought he would have for sure been one that would have had it on. But now I feel like if he's gonna come back, that almost has to be mandatory for real. So I need it.